After lending my cousin thousands to start his dream business, I found out at Thanksgiving that he had told everyone I was jealous and tried to sabotage him. I sat there as he took a bow, accepting praise for doing it all himself. When his business collapsed and he needed another loan, I sent him a single message: good luck. I 38 male never thought I'd be the kind of guy writing something like this. I'm not the type who likes drama, and I've never been one to hold grudges. But what my cousin Darren did to me changed the way I look at everything: family, loyalty, trust, all of it. We're both from Springfield, Missouri. Born and raised. Our families are close, or were close, depending on how you look at it now. My mom and his mom, my Aunt Grace, are sisters. Only 2 years apart. So, our families did everything together: holidays, camping trips, birthdays, cookouts. Darren and I grew up side by side. He's always been the loud one. Charming, funny, big dreams. When we were teenagers, he talked non-stop about becoming a millionaire. Said he'd own a chain of clothing stores before 30. I believed him. I mean, everyone did. The guy could sell water to a drowning man. Meanwhile, I was the quiet one. Good with numbers, not a risk-taker. I got my degree in accounting and started working at a local firm right out of school. Nothing flashy, but steady. And steady was fine with me. Fast forward a few years, Darren's in his late 20s, working odd jobs. Bartending, warehouse gigs, whatever he could find. Still talking about business ideas but never really landing on one. Then one day, out of the blue, he hits me up. Said he had a real shot at opening something special. It was a sneaker boutique. High-end stuff, rare Jordans, Yeezys, exclusive drops. Said he'd already talked to suppliers, and had some online clout through Instagram. Even had a mock business plan, printed and everything. I read through it. It looked legit. He said he found a small location downtown that was perfect, right next to a college and a few trendy shops. But there was a problem. He needed $42,000. To be honest, I laughed when he first said the number. It's not like I keep that kind of cash under my mattress. But I did have it in savings. I'd been building that money slowly over years. It was supposed to be my emergency fund. House repairs, maybe a better car someday. But Darren made it sound like a sure thing. Look, you'll be an investor, he said. You'll get 25% of all profits for the first 3 years. I'll pay you back the loan by the end of year 1. We'll draw up an agreement. No funny business. I hesitated. 4 days. Talked it over with my mom. She said, if you trust him, go for it. But get it in writing. So that's what I did. Nothing official through lawyers, but we wrote up a simple agreement, signed it, and kept copies. I broke the money into 3 payments, and he got his store ready. 3 months later, Urban Apex opened. I'll admit, he nailed the aesthetic. It looked like a store straight out of LA, not Missouri. Slick lighting, clean walls, minimalist displays. It looked cool, and that's not easy to pull off around here. He had launch parties, giveaways, got some local influencers to hype it up. For a while, it looked like things were taking off. I stopped by a few times during that first month. I'd always try to ask casually, how's it going, or what are sales like? And every time, he'd give me a smile and a vague answer. It's moving. Just gotta keep pushing. These things take time. After 6 months, I asked about repayment. He said he hadn't turned a real profit yet, but I'd get my money soon. Just need to get through the first year. I didn't press too hard. I figured maybe it just took more time. But then Thanksgiving happened. Thanksgiving was at Aunt Grace's house, like it always is. I got there a little late because I had to help my boss close out some monthly reports. When I walked in, everyone was already halfway through drinks and snacks. There was laughter in the kitchen, music playing in the living room, and the smell of turkey everywhere. That's when I heard the toast. Uncle Greg was standing by the fireplace with a beer in one hand, raising his glass. To Darren, he said. Built something amazing from nothing. Didn't ask for handouts. Did it all on his own. That's what hard work looks like. Everyone started clapping. I froze in the hallway. Then Darren stood up. He was smiling like a damn movie star. I'll be honest, he said. Not everyone wanted me to succeed. Some people said it was a dumb idea. Said I was dreaming too big. Some even tried to sabotage me. People gasped. Someone said, "Who?" He laughed and waved it off. Doesn't matter. Just proves that you can't let negativity win. My stomach dropped. I felt like the floor under me shifted. He was talking about me. He made me out to be some bitter cousin who doubted him. After I gave him $42,000. I sat down for dinner. Ate quietly. Didn't say anything to anyone. Not even my mom. Not that night. But I made a decision. I started paying closer attention. The Instagram hype was dying down. Store hours were getting shorter. Sometimes when I drove by, it was closed in the middle of the day. I didn't say anything. I just watched. 3 months after Thanksgiving, I got a message from a mutual friend who worked near his shop. Said Darren was months behind on rent and dodging suppliers. Another guy told me he was borrowing money from people in small amounts, $500 here, $1,000 there. It wasn't long after that I got the text. Hey bro, been thinking a lot lately. Would love to grab lunch and catch up. Could use your input on a few things. I ignored it. 3 days later, real talk, I'm in trouble. Store's bleeding money. Need a short-term loan. $20,000 would give me the runway I need to get back on track. I'll pay it back with interest. I swear. That's when I replied, good luck. That's it. Just those 2 words. He never texted back. That was 8 months ago. Urban Apex is shut down. He was evicted, last I heard. Storefront is empty. Windows papered over. He moved out of his apartment and, according to Facebook, he's crashing with an old high school buddy on the edge of town. Working part-time at a dealership. Some family members know the truth now. My mom told a few cousins how I helped him. Word spread. But no apology. Not a call. Not a single word from Darren. I saw Aunt Grace at Easter. She acted like everything was fine. Didn't mention the store, didn't ask how I was doing, nothing. Just small talk. Thanksgiving's coming up again this year. I don't know if I'm going. Maybe I'll just send a pie with my mom and let them sit in the mess they made. I used to think family meant something. Now I know it doesn't mean much if the people in it treat you like garbage once they get what they want. And Darren? I hope he thinks about that good luck message every night when he goes to sleep on someone else's couch. 2 months after that Thanksgiving, I got a letter in the mail. Not a call. Not a text. A printed letter, mailed to my house. It was from Darren. I sat on my porch with my coffee and opened it. The handwriting on the envelope was sloppy, rushed. Inside was a single page, typed out. It said, "Hey, I know you're probably still pissed. I get it. I messed up. I didn't mean to disrespect you. Everything just got out of control. I said some things I shouldn't have. I didn't mean to act like I did it alone. I was just proud and didn't want people to think I got help. I was wrong. But I'm trying to start over. Got a new plan in the works. It's different this time. I just need a little help getting it off the ground. I know I have no right to ask, but if there's any way you could loan me $10,000, I'll pay it back in full. I swear on everything. Please just think about it. Darren, I read it 3 times. First with confusion. Then with anger. Then just, empty. He really thought he could make it better by pretending to apologize, only to ask for more money again? I didn't respond. A week later, I found out that Darren had been telling people that I ruined his business. He told one of our cousins that I was suffocating him with expectations, that I spread rumors about the shop failing before it even did. Said I undermined his reputation with suppliers by getting too involved. That was the moment something inside me snapped. I wasn't just hurt anymore. I was done. So I started collecting everything. All the receipts. The bank transfers. The signed agreement. Screenshots of texts where he thanked me for the money. I printed them all and put them in a file folder. Then I called my mom and asked if she'd heard what Darren was saying. She said, I did. And I told Grace it wasn't true. I asked, did Grace believe you? She hesitated. She said Darren must have misunderstood. No, he didn't. He was lying. Again. And she was still covering for him. I decided I wasn't going to stay quiet anymore. A month before Easter, I asked my mom to host a family lunch. Said I wanted to talk about something important. Everyone came, my mom, Aunt Grace, a few cousins, even Uncle Greg. Darren didn't show up. I didn't invite him. After lunch, when people were settling in with coffee, I stood up and took out the folder. I need to clear something up, I said. Some of you have heard different versions of what happened with Darren's store. I want to show you the truth. I passed the folder around. Told them about the loan, the written agreement, the payments I made. The praise he took at Thanksgiving. The lies he told after. No one interrupted. No one defended him. By the time everyone read through the documents, the room was dead quiet. My Aunt Grace looked down the whole time. She didn't say a word. Finally, Uncle Greg cleared his throat and said, well. I guess that explains a lot. No one clapped this time. No toasts. Just awkward silence. I didn't feel proud or vindicated. I just felt tired. But it was done. They couldn't pretend anymore. A week after the lunch, I got a knock at my door around 8 p.m. It was Darren. He looked like crap. Thin, dark circles under his eyes. Wearing a hoodie with holes in the sleeves. He stood there with his hands in his pockets, looking like a kid who got caught stealing. Can I come in? He asked. I didn't answer. Just stepped out and closed the door behind me. He sighed. So I guess everyone knows now. I nodded. They know the truth. He rubbed his face. I messed up, man. I know I did. But I wasn't lying about needing help. I've got a new thing I'm working on. Got a friend who runs a small clothing brand. He wants me to handle the marketing. I just need a little cash to get my part going. I stared at him. You're not serious. I am. This one's different. No big shop, no huge overhead. Just online stuff. Drop shipping. I already got a plan. I shook my head. You think I'm stupid? No, you lied. You took my money, trashed my name, told everyone I was trying to ruin you. You stood in that room and took a bow like you built that business by yourself. And when it collapsed, you blamed me. He didn't say anything. I owe you nothing, I said. And if you ever try to drag my name through the mud again, I will take legal action. I have the paperwork. I have proof. Don't test me. He looked like he wanted to say more, but he just nodded. Okay, he whispered. I guess that's it then. Yeah, I said. It is. He turned and walked down the porch steps into the night. I haven't seen him since. But I know that's not the end. Because Darren doesn't quit. Not in a good way. In a dangerous way. He always finds someone new to latch onto. Someone else to drain. And I have a feeling he's not done trying. 3 months went by after that night on my porch. No word from Darren. I thought that was it. Then, out of nowhere, I started getting weird phone calls. First it was just unknown numbers. Then voicemails with heavy breathing and silence. Then came the texts. Hope you're enjoying your money. You always wanted to be the hero. You ruined my life. But I'm not done. Blocked every number. Didn't respond. But it didn't stop. Then one afternoon, my boss called me into his office. We need to talk, he said, looking serious. I work at a mid-sized accounting firm. Been there for 10 years. Never had a single write-up. I walked in thinking maybe he just wanted to go over some files. Instead, he closed the door and held up a printed email. This came in last night, he said. It's anonymous. Claims you've been helping local businesses hide income to avoid taxes. Mentions some store called Urban Apex. I felt my chest tighten. I took the paper and read it. It was a bunch of lies. Said I was using my job to help shady businesses cook their books. Said I manipulated the financials of a failed retail store to write off the loss on my taxes. It was detailed. Like someone knew how to sound like they knew what they were talking about. My boss watched me the whole time. This isn't a formal accusation, he said. But if something like this gets traction, it could be a problem. We have to protect the firm's reputation. I told him the whole story, about Darren, the loan, the betrayal. Showed him the signed agreement and bank transfers. I even offered to let the firm audit my files and personal taxes to clear everything. He agreed. But the damage was done. Someone had tried to destroy me professionally. Quietly. From the shadows. I knew exactly who it was. That night, I started calling people. Mutual friends. Old contacts. People who might still be in touch with Darren. It didn't take long to find something. Turns out Darren wasn't done. He had started a new marketing company out of some guy's garage. Was going around saying he'd been burned by crooked investors and was now building a business the right way. One guy told me he'd seen Darren showing people screenshots of text messages between us, only they were edited. Like he'd photoshopped the conversation to make it look like I was threatening him. I asked the guy if he had copies. He said no, Darren only showed them on his phone. Now it made sense. The fake accusations. The attempt to hurt my career. He was trying to destroy my name so he could rebuild his image as the victim. A week later, it got worse. My car windows were smashed in. Nothing was stolen. Just broken glass. Both front seats slashed. The only thing left behind was a single, crumpled photo. It was an old picture of me and Darren at a family barbecue, probably from 10 years ago. On the back, someone had written in red marker, "Not over." I filed a police report, but I knew how this would go. No fingerprints, no cameras, no witnesses. And the cops around here don't put much effort into vandalism unless it's tied to something bigger. Still, it was a line. A real one. Up until now, it was just lies and manipulation. This was different. This was a warning. I started looking into my legal options. Talked to a lawyer I knew through a client. Showed her everything, texts, emails, pictures of the car, the loan agreement, even the email to my boss. She listened. Took notes. Then she said, "He's messing with your reputation, your safety, and possibly committing fraud. You've got enough to pursue a civil suit for defamation and harassment. Maybe even criminal charges depending on what else comes up." I told her I wasn't sure I wanted to go that far. She looked at me and said, "Why are you still protecting him?" I didn't have an answer. Around this time, word started spreading again. Not from me. Turns out Darren had gone crying to Aunt Grace. Said I was trying to sue him, that I never forgave him and was obsessed with ruining him. I got a call from her. She didn't yell. She didn't apologize either. Just said, "I don't know what's going on between you two, but this has to stop. It's tearing the family apart." I said, "He came after me. I didn't start this." She sighed. "He's my son. What do you want me to do? You could tell the truth." For once. She didn't answer. Just hung up. Then came the group text. From Darren. Sent to about 12 family members, including me. "Just want to say I love my family and I hope we can get past the lies and hate. Some people would rather tear others down than lift them up. I'll pray for you." My phone blew up. Cousins messaging me privately asking, "What's going on? Why's he posting this? Is this about the loan?" I didn't respond. Not yet. But something had changed in me. Darren had gone too far. I stayed quiet once. Sat through a dinner while he stole credit for everything. Took the high road while he dragged me through the mud. Not this time. I was going to end this. And I was going to make sure no one ever saw him the same way again. I spent the next month getting ready. I didn't talk to Darren. I didn't respond to the family group chat. I didn't defend myself. I just collected everything, proof, timelines, records. My lawyer helped me organize it all. We weren't just talking about a civil case anymore. She found something big. Turns out Darren had listed me as a silent co-owner on a few fake business grant applications he'd filled out after Urban Apex collapsed. My name. My address. My credentials. He'd forged my signature and claimed we were partners. He'd taken 2 grants, small ones, about $5,000 each, from local development programs for minority-owned startups. That was fraud. And it tied me in legally, even though I had no idea it was happening. My lawyer took one look at the documents and said, "We're filing. This isn't just civil now. This is criminal." That's when I made my decision. I wasn't going to let this end quietly. Not this time. I asked my mom to help organize a family dinner. Said I wanted to make peace. Said I wanted everyone to finally hear my side. She was hesitant, but she agreed. We picked a Sunday. Aunt Grace was invited. So were the cousins. Uncle Greg. Everyone. Even Darren. He showed up late, just like always. Walked in with that same smirk I remembered from the Thanksgiving dinner a year before. Like he already knew how to twist the story in his favor. We ate. Made small talk. Then I stood up and cleared my throat. "I need to show you all something," I said. "It won't take long." I handed out folders. Inside was everything, copies of the loan agreement, screenshots of the texts, the voicemail transcriptions, pictures of my car after it was trashed, the fake grant applications, my forged signature. The last page was a legal letter. Formal notice of pending criminal investigation into Darren's fraudulent use of my identity. Dead silence. Aunt Grace looked like she'd stopped breathing. Darren snatched the folder from his cousin's hands and flipped through it. "What is this sh*t, he said, loud. "You're trying to set me up now?" "No," I said. "I'm showing them what you really are." "You're just mad, 'cause I wouldn't pay you back," he snapped. I laughed. For the first time in a long time, I actually laughed. "You didn't forget to pay me back. You rewrote the story and told people I tried to ruin you. Then you tried to ruin me. You sent letters to my boss. You forged my name. You committed fraud." He stood up. "This is slander." "You have no proof." "I do," I cut in. "And so do the police." That's when he turned pale. 3 weeks later, Darren was arrested. Forgery. Fraud. Identity theft. Multiple charges. The small grants he took using my name? That money was traceable. The email to my boss? Tracked back to his IP address. The edited screenshots? Metadata confirmed they'd been altered. The best part? He'd used the same old laptop for everything. When they searched it, they found drafts of fake documents, versions of the contract he'd been altering to make me look guilty, and even messages where he bragged to a friend about ruining the accountant. His friend turned those over too, after he realized he might go down with him. Darren took a plea deal. 2 years probation, a suspended sentence, and mandatory restitution. He had to pay back everything, to me, to the grant programs, and to the auto insurance company for the damage to my car. Yes, they tied that to him too after his fingerprints showed up on the photo he left behind. He also got banned from applying to any small business programs for 10 years. He lives with Aunt Grace now. She had to take out a loan to help cover his restitution. She stopped speaking to most of the family out of shame. As for me, my boss gave me a quiet apology. I didn't lose my job, but the trust was shaken for a while. I worked hard to rebuild it. Things are stable now. I keep to myself more. Learned my lesson. I also finally bought that better car. Not because I needed one, but because it felt like I'd earned it. At the next Thanksgiving, I didn't show up. Instead, I dropped off a pie at my mom's place and went out of town for the weekend. Spent it at a quiet cabin by the lake, just reading and thinking. Sometimes I still feel the sting of betrayal. But more than anything, I feel peace. I did what I had to do. I gave him chances. I kept my mouth shut longer than I should have. And when the time came, I made sure the truth crushed him. He tried to steal my money. Then my name. Then my life. But in the end, he lost everything. And I sent him one last message. It said, "Now we're even."